Good evening. Good evening. How are you guys doing? I hope that this video finds you guys well and safe. I want to talk to my people about learning from your history, learning from our history. Okay. If it has not been made clear to us, meaning Black people, um, we are in a state of emergency. Even if leadership in this country has not recognized that and called it a state of emergency, we as Black people in the United States of America, we are in a state of emergency. And we've been in a state of emergency. It's like we've existed. We've existed in a state of emergency. And the crazy part is that so many things are set in place to try to distract Black people from that reality. The powers that be, the powers that have oppressed our grandparents, our great grandparents, our great great grandparents, and our parents, and us, have not wanted us to be aware of the state of emergency that we have been forced to exist in all of our lives. Whether we fully recognized it or realized it or not, we've been forced to live in a state of emergency all of our lives. We have been forced to live substandardly. We've been forced to have to work harder. We've been forced to have to learn, some of us in very unfruitful and unproductive learning conditions, some of us without the resources that we needed. Some of us have been forced to live with one parent, and one parent cannot possibly be two parents. All of us have been forced to live with racism on some type of level or another. Some of us have been exposed to more of the manifestations of systemic racism than others. Therefore, the people that have been exposed to more blatant acts of racism as well as systemic racism are more aware of the fact that we are in a state of emergency than people who have been spared the blatant acts of racism, racial profiling, or what have you. Nonetheless, no matter what state we're in, we all, as Black people in this country, are in a state of emergency. And we were born in a state of emergency. Now, the question becomes, what are we going to do about it? You know, I went to work today. I clocked in. I did my job. Feel I was very productive at it. And I clocked out. And during my lunch break and after I got off, I just was looking at all of these programs about the Black movement, about different movements amongst Black people in the past. And what I'm doing is I'm studying our history. I think that a lot of people don't know a lot of different things, and therefore a lot of people want to try things today to deal with the racism or try to heal of the racism without properly and comprehensively studying the totality of African American history in this country. We can't rely on the educational system to do it. They are going to chop and skewer our history. They're not going to teach us who we really are. Heck, most of us don't even know what our real names are. We don't know what our ancestors' names were when they took us off the continent of Africa. My last name is Russ, but Russ is not an African name. The name Russ comes from an Irish background. The very first Russ that stepped foot on this continent was Alistair with an A, Russ. Does that sound like a brother to you? But anyway, since that's the only name I know, I guess I'll go by for now. But I want to know what my history is. I want to know the things that they're telling us that we're supposed to do to make things better in this country for African American people. Has these things been done already? What was done about it in the past? To me, it's wise to study our history so that we're not repeating the same procedures and or mistakes that other Black leaders in the past have performed. Excuse me. Now, a lot of our people don't like to study our history because it is painful and it is hard to hear. Especially when you come to the realization, as I listened to the documentary, 2 hours, over 2 hours, by the way, for Marcus Garvey and Garveyism, you realize that a lot of this stuff that this dude, he was so responsible. He was the first African American person that came to this continent that made African American people feel good about themselves. He helped build Black pride, where it had been torn down and destroyed and lynched and burnt, crispy, clean burnt. Marcus Garvey did such incredible things, and he tried to do so many more incredible things for the Black people, but a lot of people, some people within his own race, some people without, some people who were presidents of the United States, J. Edgar Hoover, did not want those things to come to pass for Black people for various reasons. And I listened and watched this documentary, and I was amazed at the sheer genius of this man. He had some character flaws, and had some mistakes and made some mistakes, yes. And he had some personal challenges and personal, some people may call them failures. But nonetheless, that did not take away from what he did accomplish for Black people. But he made some mistakes too. And the documentary did a very good job of presenting all of that, the reality and totality of his life and what he accomplished and what he birthed and what he helped do amongst Black people and birth amongst us as a people. It did a very good job of presenting all of the facts about Marcus Garvey. I also am in the midst of watching this roundtable discussion between various Black leaders from the early 70s. I was a toddler when this came out. Angela Davis was on the panel, Stokely Carmichael, just different people. And I'm listening to it and I'm like, this is the same. This can be a roundtable discussion that is being had today in 2020. The very same issues almost 50 years ago are still issues for the Black people in 2020. We were free from slavery in the early 1900s, and we're still in 2020, over a century later, we're still dealing with issues that has to do with racism, and we're still the most obnoxious and obscene and crazy thing about all of this is we as a Black people are still doing the same things, and we're still expecting the same results. Excuse me, scratch that. I said that wrong. We're doing the same things and we're expecting different results. It's like we're shooting crap. We're shooting dice. Maybe if we have this roundtable discussion, come on, let's blow on my dice, blow on my dice. We have this roundtable discussion, and I let it go and hit the wall. Bam! We're gonna come up with the best a solution that's gonna work for Black people. Oh, I missed it. Just missed it. Let's try it again. Come on, blow my ice. I need that luck. And we keep doing the same thing over and over again, and we keep expecting different results. I know I sound crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm not going to let anybody make me think that I'm crazy. What's crazy and what's insane is when you do the same thing over and over and over again, and you expect it to come out and turn out differently. We can't keep marching. They were marching over 50 years ago. We can't keep having roundtable discussions. They were having roundtable discussions when I was being potty trained over 50 years ago. Okay, we've built up the Black Pride, but now Marcus Garvey helped birth Black Pride into the African American, but now the African Americans in 2020 has taken that Black Pride and has hoarded the Black Pride. And now it's every man for himself. Every man protect his house. Every man protect his ministry. Every man protect his organization. Every man protect his movement. But ain't nobody saying, you know what? Marcus Garvey said, hey, we need to get together. We need to unify. No matter what spiritual or religious beliefs you have. Yes, I'm going to say it, no matter what kind of sex you like. Sex don't got nothing to do with this. We're all Black. Hello. Now, if they tap into different spirits and trying to get different results, then that's a different issue. But Black folks need to unify. You know, we deal with some people that got some spirits, then we're going to have to do some internal deliverance for people who want it, of course. But it doesn't matter how much money you have, whether you're upper middle class or whether you are in the projects in the ghetto. It doesn't matter. You're Black. We all, listen, I think a lot of people, African Americans in this country, because, okay, we're better off, supposedly, than we've ever been. When I say better off, meaning, hey, we've had a Black president. Hey, we have a Black billionaire, and several Black millionaires. We have Black people that live in entire communities, and they're upper middle class. Hello, Prince George County. We have Black people who have won Academy Awards. Mind you, it's been an Academy Awards. I'm not going to even go there. For foolishness. Black people have won Academy Awards for being the maid. Black people have won the Academy Awards for being a white man's winch. Yes, I said it. Black people have won Academy Awards, for playing demeaning roles that make Black people play these roles, these stereotypes that other people feel comfortable with us playing. And because they do such a convincing and a darn good job of it, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you the Oscar for it. Oh, we're doing better now than we ever have. Black woman is the most educated, the most highly educated, the most progressively educated individual in the country. There are more Black women with degrees now than there ever has been. But the Black woman still makes less money than everybody else, but is the most educated. But we as a African people, people of African descent, born on American soil, are doing better than we ever have, right? Wrong. They still look at all of us, no matter what class we are, no matter what sex we are, no matter how we like sex, no matter what, what religion we are, no matter what educational credentials that we have, no matter what job we have, no matter what career that we live in. Guess what? No matter what neighborhood we live in, none of that matters. They are still looking at us as niggas. Yeah, I said it. And if you got offended, oh well. But am I lying? Where's the lie? Because we're still being treated that way on American soil, we need to come to the reality and to the realization that there is not true prosperity, nor is there true freedom on American soil. There can never be that for Black people in this country. I'm convinced of that. It does not take 150 years, 250 years for people to get free. Unless it is not the intent for freedom to be had here. We all know about the story of the Israelites caught up in Egyptian slavery and bondage. It took them all those years to get out because why? Because their freedom could not be had on Egyptian soil. Why? Because Pharaoh was an evil mother joker. Okay? And the only way that the Israelites got the deliverance from bondage was when Yah removed them off of Egyptian soil. But my people, we need to realize we're not going to have it here. No matter what you do here, no matter what you accomplish here, no matter how much money you get, you can win the lottery tomorrow and you still will be bound by the American system. Am I renouncing my American citizenship? No, I'm not doing that. Am I talking bad about America? No, I'm being realistic and honest. Look how they're treating us. And it's not even a matter, it's way past, oh, they're treating me badly. No, we're not in kindergarten or preschool. They are killing our people just because they're Black. Do you understand that? And it's not, I don't say these things out of fear. I'm trying to get you to understand and realize some things and see some things. And maybe once you realize that and see that and make up in your mind, hey, you know what? I need to start making plans because Winona is right. Then we can do some things to help all of us. I just want to encourage my people to get together and unify. And there's these things where, Black people who don't agree with other Black people be like, oh, I cancel you and I cancel your race card, and your race card is revoked because of certain things that Black people do that other Black people don't agree with. Let me tell you something. If a Black person is Black, they're Black no matter what. Okay? Now, if they do something that hurts Black people as a whole, then yes, we do have to hold their feet to the fire and question them and hold them accountable. And yes, they do have to prove that they are worthy of the trust of the Black person. But other than that, I don't believe in holding somebody who may have made decisions in their past that seem like it was against Black people. I don't hold it against them if they have truly repented of those things. And once they realize, okay, I was ignorant. I didn't know any better. I did not know that. I wasn't aware of this. But I've changed my views about things. And you can actually see the fruit of those changes in their lives presently. Then, hey, let's give them a break. Let's cut them some slack. Because everybody is evolving. Everybody is growing, or should be. So we can't be holding people to mistakes they've made in the past. People make mistakes. I've made mistakes. I felt certain way about being with white men 5 years or 10 years ago that I don't hold those views anymore. But I had to go through some things and learn some things before I came to that. So I evolved. I grew. So, hey, let's cut some people some slack. Let's not be like, how Black people don't like to forgive nobody. Y'all like to forgive the white people from killing y'all, but y'all can't forgive one another for making a mistake. That's not right. We got to come off of that. We have to unite because we are in a state of emergency. We are in a state of emergency. We are in a state of emergency. We don't have a black president or a black leader to say it. So, hey, I'm hoping that you hear me spiritually. Hear me. We are in a state of emergency. We as a people need to come together and work on getting our stuff together so that we don't have to go through these things anymore. Stop fighting for this stuff over here. Let them have this. And Yah's going to deal with them. He will vindicate us. He will avenge us, our adversaries. Just some things I just wanted to put on your mind. You can take it or leave it, but we're in a state of emergency, people. Let's stop being distracted by the foolish things. It's the things that's not going to matter. It doesn't matter if I have a ring or if I have a boo or if I'm snatched or the stuff that black people are distracted with. It's amazing. None of that matters in a state of emergency. We're in a state of emergency and we need to focus on uniting and getting things together here. Y'all be safe and have a great evening.